The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. On leaving the synagogue, Jesus entered the house of Simon and Andrew with James and John. Simon's mother-in-law lay sick with a fever. They immediately told him about her. He approached, grasped her hands, and helped her up. Then the fever left her, and she waited on them. When it was evening after sunset, they brought to him all who were ill or possessed by demons. The whole town was gathered at the door. He cured many who were sick with various diseases, and he drove out many demons, not permitting them to speak because they knew him. Rising very early before dawn, he left and went off to a deserted place where he prayed. Simon and those who were with him pursued him, and on finding him said, "Everyone is looking for you." He told them, "Let us go on to the nearby villages that I may preach there also. For this purpose I have come." So he went into the synagogues, preaching and driving out demons throughout the whole of Galilee. The Gospel of the Lord. As you obviously see now, the colors have shifted. We're now in the green liturgical color because we've ended finally Christmas. So you can finally stop saying Merry Christmas to everybody that you meet. I know you've been saying Merry Christmas ever since December 25th, haven't you? Remember, as Catholics, we celebrate Christmas for a long time. It's not just a single day. Let everybody else celebrate it for a day. We milk Christmas. And now as we begin ordinary time, look at these readings. They're powerful. Sickness is a gift. You're like, what are you talking about? No, it's not, Father. Let me say that again, because I mean it from the depths of my heart. Your sickness, our sickness, the sickness of our loved ones, those who have died, I'm telling you, listen, sickness and suffering is pure gift. I know every fiber in our being rebels against that and says no. Our culture says you're an idiot if you think that's true. There is no meaning of suffering. There is no value whatsoever. And I get it. Because there is nothing more isolating, more devastating than sickness and suffering. But listen to the first reading today. St. Paul, the author of the letter to the Hebrews, many believe, says this: Jesus likewise shared in them that through death he might destroy the one who has the power of death, and to free those through fear of death who had been subject to slavery all of their lives. So what Paul is speaking about here is that Christ has entered into our suffering. Because I want to point out the lie in there, because the moment that we're suffering or the moment that we're sick, and especially when our loved ones fall sick, what does the devil whisper into our ear, who's mentioned in all of the readings today? Doubt. Does your God love you? Then why do you have cancer? Does your God really love you? Then why is your loved one suffering? Oh, I hear that constantly. Father, why does God allow, and fill in the blank? You can fill that in a million times. Because the whisper slithers his tongue in our ear and he says, God does not love you. There is no value when you're suffering. Stop praying. Oh, but Paul now, he does not let that fade him, not even for 1 second. He says, no, because Christ now shares in my suffering. so that he may destroy. He used the very vehicle of our pain for the destruction of death. See, this is why I will always proclaim that no matter what suffering we endure in our bodies and our loved one, it will always be pure gift. Gospel. Look what happens here next. All of the sick, the possessed are flocking to Jesus. Do you see that there? Because they see in Jesus Christ the fulfillment of the prophecies of Isaiah. Isaiah 32, Isaiah 42, 43, and Isaiah 53. It is, read the prophet of Isaiah again. We had it beautifully during the Christmas season. It is all about the suffering servant who will come, the coming Messiah who, in him, when he arrives, how you will know he was truly the Messiah, he will cure the sick. That is why all flock to him. Because if you notice this, what happens with our suffering and our pain is that we feel utterly abandoned. You ever felt that? I mean, how of us cry out to God, God, where are you? Why do you allow this to happen? Oh, we all feel it. And it's not by accident. Christ, when he reveals himself, he cured the sick, the demon-possessed, the poor. Because what he's saying to them, he says, through my own suffering, which I will enter in with you, I will take it, and I will offer it to my Father. And our Heavenly Father will transform it for the very salvation of humanity. Now do you see why I say my suffering and your suffering is the greatest Christmas gift we could ever receive?